Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you how to make live stream artwork or overlays free. So the program we're using is GIMP. If you're following the tutorial, you may have seen a couple of videos where I introduce you to this program and how to set it up. So it's something that you can get free on the internet. It's a GIMP software. It's like Photoshop, but it lets you do a lot of things that allow you to make what you need to make. So I'm going to show you a quick tutorial of me making a few custom overlays. And let me know in the comments if you have any requirements for certain tools, but I've done 7 tips of the main tools you're going to need. So I'll get you straight into this and I'll let you watch as I make it, which will actually, I'll explain some of the menus I'm using. So we'll go File, New, and this screen is important. Your live stream, are you streaming at 1080p or 720p? You can choose what canvas size you want. I always do 1080p because that's a bigger size, and if I have to, I can just resize that in the overlays to bring it down a notch if I have to. And in advanced options here, when you're making a new canvas, you can actually make sure the background color is set to transparency. The reason we want it to be transparency is we're making overlays. So if you remember, your video of your live stream is going to be behind the overlays. So if we had a solid color there, you wouldn't see your video basically, because it's going to be an overlay. So transparency, and we're going to do OK. So there is my transparent layer. What I'm doing right now is zooming in and out. You can do that by pressing CTRL on your keyboard and using the middle mouse scroller to go in and out. So thinking along the lines of a live stream, I'm going to basically have a little live logo in the bottom corner and maybe a ticker with some text going through, and maybe it's something to say live stream. So let's start. We'll make everything from scratch. So we're going to be fully creative on this. We're not going to do any Google copy and paste jobs where we basically, some people tend to do that. Just get a picture off Google and use it. But remember, that picture belongs to someone, so you don't want to take someone's work without their permission. So let's have a look. The first tool I'm going to select is, let me get rid of that little box I just made there. So let me explain this actually. So in the layers on the right, which you can hopefully see, it's a background layer, which is a transparent layer. I like to put everything on a separate layer. On the bottom here, which you should be able to see, because I recorded this and I didn't show that bottom menu, but there's a little plus icon. If you hover over it, it will say create a new layer, and I'll call that, I don't know, box, just so that it's easy for you to follow what I'm doing. So that one there is popped up as box. So now I want to make a box which will have my text on it. So I'll draw it anywhere, but I'd like it to be here. So let's zoom into where I want it to be. And okay, oh, I've got a little bit of a, okay, let's just have a look at that there. Okay, so we've got a little tool which we're using. So I'm going to draw a little square in the bottom corner. I say little, but there. So now I want that to be a color of, so here you can see I have 2 colors. The default colors tend to be black and white, which I've just selected that little box there and it makes it default. And then I will go to the background color and make that a red, do OK. And then you should be able to fill your background color by simply doing CTRL and backspace, or the longer option is edit, fill with BG color, which stands for background color. So there we have our box. Next, I want to add a bit of text in there. So let's select the text from here. I normally do press T and it allows you to do that. And let's just click in there. So what shall we call it? Let's just call it Zulf. I'll do it all in caps. Zulf and live. Let's make it a bit more fancy. We'll do Zulf and make that big text, and then the photography small text. Let me show you that. So space photography, and in this box here you can resize it. So I'll select my photography. Oops, I pressed space, then it overrid it. Zoom out a little bit, select the photography, make that 30 maybe a little smaller. Yeah, 30 will make the Zulf a bit bigger. So delete, enter, so that goes down, and then grab the select tool, which is a shortcut of V. Make sure the text is selected, and with the text you have to actually, it's a bit funny, but you have to make sure you're selecting the text element of it. So when I say text, I mean if you select the blank space, nothing will happen. You need to actually click on where some of your text color is. So that's like a handy tip there. So let's go back to the text tool, make that a bit bigger. Let's call it 100. So that looks a bit better now because the Zulf and photography are like in scale. We'll select all of that by doing Ctrl and A. Select a color and make the text white. Do OK. And the same over here, white. There we go. That looks nice now. So now what you've noticed is that the box I made is too small. So we need to go back to the box and check the scaling tools here. So there's an option here for scale, and there's another one here called share scale and, well, transform and rotate, but we want the scale. So if I select the box and make sure to, well, 1 minute, I'll cancel that, deselect that, we want the box which is there. So there we go. Now you can use your key to resize it. So the color changes slightly because it's telling you where it's going to be. But once you press enter, that's what applies it. Or if you press scale, if you press scale, you'll see the box has gone down there now. And let's zoom out a bit. Does that look okay? Deselect. And sometimes it's a floating select layer, so you'll see over here and down here is gone green. So you need to do create a new layer and drag it to the image, or you can anchor the movement because you basically changed something. I click that and that applies the change. So that happens sometimes when you're making a movement or a scale of an object. It'll come up as another layer saying, wait a minute, you're doing something there that's different. So you'll see it's made its own layer now, whereas the old box is now blank. So I can technically delete the box layer because I've transformed it. Let's go there and just do delete. And now that new layer is called transformation. So it's actually put it to a new layer. In the settings somewhere you can change that, but I don't want to go into all of that if you're using it for the first time. So that's basically us making a box, putting some text on top of it. And you know what, that text spacing probably isn't great because if you notice there's too much of a space between my Zulf and photography. So let's go back to the text tool, select all of that, and I think these here allow us to adjust the text. Oh, there you go. So you'll see by moving that up and down you can realign where the text shows. So -7, but sometimes, am I selecting it all? Select all. Oh, wrong way. Yeah, sometimes it's got a bit of a bug where I can't really bring it really up unless I make them two separate text layers. So Zulf separate and photography separate, which may be another way of doing it because I've put it all on the same text layer. So, well, we'll work with that for now because it's an example. But if you wanted to change that, I would put Zulf in one text layer, photography in another text layer, and then bring them both closer. But it'll probably take too long to show you that. So I'll just do what we've got. And then let's add a bit of effect to that. That looks a bit bland. So let's go to the text layer, selecting the move. Let's zoom in a bit and right click on that and do tools, and there's an option for color. Is it tools? Filters even, sorry. Filters, light and shadow, and then drop shadow. And then I've got one already saved here. Let me show you what I normally use. So all these settings above are 0, 0, blur radius 0 because I don't want it to be a blur. Grow radius is set to 7. Let's make that a bit smaller. Make it 2, so there's a bit of an outline. And the opacity, I don't want it to be see-through. I want it to be a solid color. That's why it's black. Do OK on that. And now you'll notice when you add an outline onto it, it's no longer a text layer. It's become like a picture. So if you were to go and click on the text tool and click on it again, you'll get a pop-up like this saying, oh, wait a minute, it's not a text layer anymore because you applied some effects on it. You can edit it, but you're going to lose that outline. So you'll have to do the outline again. That's all that means. So that's fine. And let me get another tool here. And let's put a little ticker. So normally on the bottom of my lives, can I show you it? There. So you see that's something I already made before. So that is all over my face at the moment, but there's a little ticker there. It's like a black box that's got text going through it, just along here. So basically that's what we're looking to make. So now if I get my little box there and then do a shape here, let me just zoom out. That's probably a good size. Then I can press X to make those colors change over, and then make a new layer box again. That's fine. And then right click, edit, fill with background color. So you got the black bar there, deselect. So that's where my text would go on, if that makes sense. And I already made a live stream. Let me just bring that over here. So I have resources where I made a PNG file of the live stream. So let me just grab that. It's like it just basically says live. I don't know if I can remember where I saved it. Yeah, I can't find it at the moment. I remember I saved it. That's one. Oh, there we go. Okay, so if I drag that here, you can grab pictures and drag them and move them over. So keep. So there was something I made before. It's basically just a PNG file. It's imported it in. I just grabbed it and dragged it in. So just grab that. Oops, I was on the wrong tool there. And just whack that in the top corner. You can do CTRL and T to rescale it. If you hold down Alt, you can scale it in like a square scale. And that is a quick and dirty way of making overlay. You want to see what it looks like? Okay, let's do a quick file. Export as, I'm going to export it as a PNG, and let's call it test live. I'll put it on this actual live stream right now. So where am I putting it? I'm putting it in my documents, so I remember. Export. So give that a second to export. Okay, so here you'll see there's a few options. Save background color is ticked. Do X on that. I don't want a background color, thank you very much. Save resolution, export. And now if I go over to my live stream over here, I'm going to bring it into my current live stream. So let me bring up a different page so it doesn't confuse you. Okay, so that image that I made there, I can bring documents I saved it in. Documents, test live. Let's drag it in over here. Oh, there we go. So wait, let me get a, see that live should have had like a black outline on the top corner. It should have had a black outline so you could see the live. And let me see if I can get you back to a black screen. Boom. Yeah, well, and then you can have a ticket along the bottom. So that's basically some artwork. You can put different boxes in. So should I make that? I think that's long enough, but let me do a last few changes and show you what ads you could do. So let me go back to this. What I would like to do is put a new box in. This is like making it extreme. Let's put another box in. And now let's go and do something like, now let me put a picture in there actually, because I've got some of my live pictures that I normally use. If I do covers, okay, let's do something like this just as an example. So right now I have an image. What I could do is in that image, let's bring that right to the bottom, and then let's say I want to make like a fancy slideshow in my live stream. We'll select that box and then go edit and clear. So now I've made a little box gap there, if that makes sense. This is just a quick example. So let's do deselect and let's save that file. Save as, or no, export. Let's just export as test PNG as the old one. And now you'll see there. So in my live stream, you can see it has replaced it. But now if I bring my webcam, which is this one here, and if I bring that up here, what I could do is resize my webcam, and in this live stream I could show you a different view. So let's just make that a bit bigger there. Make that a bit bigger. So now you can see that is like a bit of artwork around my live stream. So welcome to this live stream. Today I'm going to be showing you, just make sure you point the right way, and you can have some points listed there, and you can click on your picture on your live stream, turn it off, put it on, change it between different ones, which makes it really interesting. So artwork, you can do a number of things and make it very interesting. And that was a quick overview of making overlays for your live stream. I'll link you to another playlist of videos that will help you to understand all the tools. I'll go into more of a breakdown and how to use the tools in GIMP to do basically what we've done there. It's kind of, the more you use it, the better you'll get. But I've got some design tutorials that will help you, so I'm linking you to this playlist that will give you more information, and I'll see you on one of those videos.